Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission, and it's very rare that we get this much beauty on the set at one time, right? So we've got Christy Wagner, and we've got Destiny Jones with the Shootout, right? And Shootout Offshore, the race that's coming up here. And now you guys are in charge of the racing guide, right? The Lake of the Ozarks Racing Guide, the LOTO Racing Guide. It's the racing guide. And this is kind of a new thing. So tell us about this. What is the LOTO Racing Guide?
So for the first year, the Shootout has brought in two different guides, making it two guides in one, which is awesome for our advertisers. The Lake of the Ozarks Race Guide, it encompasses both the previous official Shootout program guide, as well as the former LOTO PowerFest Lake Race Guide, which is now rebranded to Shootout Offshore. So it's two guides in one, whereas before it was, outsourced. We are able to internalize ad sales, which is awesome for the Shootout. Making our potential for, having those proceeds go back to those that it benefits, the Tri-County area nonprofits and first responders. So I do the editorial work, the art directing side, and then Destiny is all sales.
There you go, right? Okay. Hard to say no to Destiny. So.
Absolutely.
And before this, as the Shootout grows and gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year, you just kind of have to start reining things in that have been done differently in years past. And this is one of those things, right, where the Shootout didn't officially do the race guide before, I don't think.
So back in the early days, talking to retired Lake Ozark Fire Protection District Chief Mark Amsinger, and then also Osage Beach, their retired chief Jeff Dorhauer, they were in it since the early days. And so they remember going around in their, fire department uniform and asking local banks, grocery stores, marinas, boat brokerages, you name it, for funds. And then they, in turn, were able to raise their own money for their own jurisdiction, which is really cool. They put boots out in grocery stores and gas stations, and all the proceeds raised within their jurisdiction went back to help fund their department. And so we're kind of, what I would love to see continue in years to come is to see us do the groundwork, and then we're able to reap the benefits from that effort by keeping it in-house and by being able to add to what we raise every single year.
Right, and this isn't a small thing. I mean, you guys are putting out like 10,000 of these things, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a little bit of work that goes behind that.
It's a lot. It's a really daunting thing, I will say that. It's a huge honor, though, to be given even this opportunity to try to create a 250-page, 50-50 ad to content ratio magazine. We want it to be quality content. The features that we put out ahead of the Shootout Guide going out, they're things that I'm interested in, so therefore I love writing about, and I feel like the Lake area would be interested in too. So we're really trying to engage our readers. We've got some funny content that's going to go in there. We're going to do a behind-the-scenes roast. I heard for getting Destiny on this, I'm going to be roasted.
Wow.
She might get roasted just a little bit.
That is going to be so awesome. I cannot wait for that.
I want to do like crossword puzzles trivia that, when people go into Tucker Shuckers and they see the free guide, this will be free to the public. We raise our money like Facebook does through ads. That they'll be able to pick up the guide and, look at a couple awesome features before they eat their dinner. Do a quick crossword puzzle on lake area trivia on the Shootout Offshore, and, have it really be something that's content worthy and fun.
How amazing is that, right?
Yeah.
So, and you, Destiny, you grew up at the lake, right?
Yeah.
And you were a bartender for many years, so you know all about Shootout fun and Shootout partying and stuff, right?
Yeah, mainly lake race. I would say I grew up more around that. And the Shootout, I've always heard about it, but never really, we went over there to work a booth once or twice whenever I was with WIA. And so I worked that booth, and you didn't really get to see it, but I knew it was always just this huge, large racing event.
Yeah.
So it is such an honor to be brought in with the Shootout organization, taking it over and being a part of that and seeing every aspect of both races and what goes into it. So I'm definitely very grateful to be part of that.
So, and just in case you didn't know, Shootout Offshore is what it was formerly Lake Race, right?
Yeah,
so
correct.
It's kind of the same thing, but it's much better now. And I hear you grew up with a big family? How big of family did you have?
Yeah, so I'm actually the oldest of, I always lose count. I have to go back and recount all of them, but I am the oldest with 9 younger siblings.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
And you're the oldest?
Yes.
So you had to play like mama, I guess, a lot,
A
right?
little bit. I think my mom and I would kind of butt heads every now and then of like, okay, who's the mom here?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes,
Do you have to
yeah.
fight for food at the dinner table
No,
sometimes?
not that
Okay.
bad.
Your
No.
close friends, the Swifts, don't they call you Mama D?
Yes. Yeah.
There you go, Mama D.
Yeah.
That's my new name for her.
Yeah.
Every time I see Destiny, it's going to be Mama D.
She gets it done. If anybody can get
Yeah.
it done, it's Destiny.
That's right. And you have, I mean, you've been really busy over the years. You've helped your husband build just a huge kind of insurance empire at the lake here,
He's
right?
the ultimate sales guy. I tend to be drawn to those who are very motivated with strong, awesome personalities like Destiny, like my husband. You know, they get it done. I am more of the back end. I like to write or do the books. But Chris has definitely built the empire.
Yeah.
I've, tried to support him as much as I can in the background, but that's all Chris.
Well, I tell you what, you don't know what a difficulty it was just getting her to come on the show.
Amen.
Right? It's like, I don't want to be on camera.
know.
Do not put me on camera.
The only thing I would do it for is the shootout. I feel like it's my life's work. It's really just such an honor, and I cannot wait to see what this year brings.
And you know what? It's funny though, because that shows up in the work, in the LOTO shootout guide, the LOTO race guide that you guys have out now. You can see it in the quality because it means something to you.
I hope
Right?
so.
Yeah, it's you can see a lot of heart in there. Okay, so we're going to continue to talk with Christy and Destiny about this new race guide, the LOTO race guide. You got to see it. It's unbelievable. So we'll be back with more here on the Community Spotlight Show. Central Ozarks Medical Center, voted Missouri's best and best at the lake, is recruiting team members due to growth. Amazing employment opportunities for both medical and non-medical positions with competitive salaries and outstanding perks. For more information, go to the Careers tab at centralozarks.org. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Join a leader. Join our team. COMC, where your health is our mission.
Hey, I'm David. When you come to the lake, you're not here to sit on a boat all by yourself staring at the sun till you go blind. There's a whole world of places to go, people to see. Someone's got to know where all the fun is, right? Welcome to Weekend at the Lake. Whether it's a street party, a concert, a charity event, or somewhere to spend time with your kids, buddy, I've got you covered. Weekend at the Lake. Because you're not here to be bored. Only on Lake TV.
Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show. We've got Christy Wagner and Destiny Jones with Shootout Offshore. Well, with the whole shootout, really, right? Both races, but the offshore races coming up used to be Lake Race. You guys are putting together the race guide, right? And this is for both races, right?
Yes.
For the offshore and the big shootout race. And you guys have been really intentional about putting this in. I mean, you just didn't throw it together willy-nilly.
No.
You've been really thinking about, okay, what's going to make a great race guide? And so what did you come up with? What did you decide?
So we decided together that we would do half content, half ads. So you
Okay.
obviously still want to generate proceeds from advertisements within the guide. And it's also very relevant to our advertisers. So we're not just going to anyone. We're really trying to hone in on boat brokers, different bar, marina, restaurants, business owners that give back to the community, different realtors, that type of a market. Doing full page, half page, and then double page spreads within the guide. And then regarding the content, we came together back in the fall when we started really planning this and talked about key features that we could incorporate. Some of those have been released ahead of time. Some of those will be held just for the printed copy. And then after the print copies go out, we plan to have 10,000 copies throughout the summer. We'll save some for closer to the shootout. But a total of 10,000 printed copies, which is a staggering amount. But we'll begin circulating those throughout the Lake of the Ozarks in May, and then again throughout the summer. And then we'll also have this available online. We're really trying to make this digital. I did this 3 consecutive years with another publishing company, and it was held for print. I really love using WordPress, different tools that we have to be able to engage viewers and potential advertisers, sponsors throughout the world, not just our Tri-County area. We really want to make this the global thing.
Yeah, and you can see it in the quality of it if you haven't seen it yet. And you're used to high pressure stuff, right? Because before you got into the insurance business and shootout business, you were like an emergency dispatcher.
I
right?
work, yes.
There's a little bit of pressure that goes with that.
So I think it's a personality thing, like sales. I could never do sales. God love Destiny. I tried and I sucked at it. I'm not a saleswoman, but I think that it's definitely a personality thing. I do love adrenaline. I love the fun of it. It was a very rewarding thing. I worked for a city, county, and state for 11 years. And I have a lot of pride in that. It was a beautiful, very demanding chapter of my life.
Yeah, very cool. And a great way to give back to society. I mean, very, very, very important position. And you look good in the uniform, too, right?
You're going to show them that hat, aren't
I
you?
love that hat. That's a great hat. That's perfect.
The Highway Patrol kept us humble with the hat.
I don't know. You look good in that hat, though. And I guess you might think it to be true. I mean, the 911 or the emergency responder thing, but you're also an artist. You paint murals.
That is a side hustle. It's not lucrative at all, but it's very fulfilling. And I'm able to, that's another way that I try to give back. I really do believe that we only have what we give. And so I'm able to do, for community fundraisers, for the Community Foundation of the Lake, my daughter's school. I was able to donate murals like that.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's so cool. What's the biggest one you've done? Do you do like sides of buildings or?
Not yet, but I'm hoping. It's a goal. Yeah, I would love to see the Lake of the Ozarks become more like, the bigger cities that have murals like that.
Yeah,
It's
those are
definitely
pretty
a goal.
cool.
Yes.
Hey, when I lived in LA, they'd have the whole sides of like skyscrapers.
Absolutely.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I would love to see the lake do that.
And so you're kind of an adrenaline junkie, being an emergency responder thing. You jump out of like things 4,000 feet above the
No,
ground.
400.
400,
yes.
okay. So bungee jumping, right?
Yes, yeah. We were in Cabo for a trip, and there is just we'll just say like an adventure theme park. You can bungee jump, go ride on dune buggies throughout, and zip line and all of this stuff. And right before we went bungee jumping, we did the zip line across the canyons, and the guy was being trained on his job, essentially.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, literally.
Nothing
But
could
we
go
had
wrong
already
here.
paid ahead of time to do the bungee jumping, and multiple people backed out. As they send them out, it takes like 20 minutes to get out there, 20 minutes to get back, and they'd go out there and they're like, nope, not going. And my husband and I had actually just gotten engaged the day before, so I just say that I was on this high, essentially, to where I'm like, I'm out here and I'm going. But if you catch the video, you see I like double think. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this, and then I went for
couldn't
it.
have
So, and afterwards, I would do it all over again.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, well, that says something there. And you also are a party planner.
Yeah, so I started Got Your Batch event planning and design. This is now what I say my third season, but essentially it's 2 years.
Yeah.
So I help bachelor parties, mainly is what I specialize in, and helping them from planning the trip, decorating, gifts, whatever they want. I'm there to be as hands-on or hands-off as they would like for their trip.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those great American movies, where, you're party planning, you're doing all this, and fall in love, get married with your husband and all that stuff,
Yeah,
right?
I love it.
That's kind of the way it goes. All right. So this race guide is new,
Yes.
the LOTO race guide. It's
Yes.
for both the races, the shootout offshore race and then the big shootout. And so one guide covers all.
It does, and that's huge for marketers to keep in mind too. Obviously, now that Shootout Offshore is a part of the shootout, the proceeds raised during this race also will go toward what we give away in the check presentations in the fall.
That's huge.
And so, you're talking about organizations that do so much. The one that's the most dear to me, Kids Harbor.
Yeah.
They do a lot for child advocacy and protection. The Changing Table, they donate to families who need it. This is a beautiful lake. It's a very affluent area. However, we have a very diverse area. A group of people to
Great
serve,
need. Yeah.
absolutely, in the Tri-County area, and that's what this does.
That
The
is-
advertisement dollars, 100% of that goes back to the shootouts recipients.
Okay, so if people are interested in buying the shootout guide, or they can't buy it, it's free.
It's
Yeah.
free.
Okay, so for advertisers who want to jump in and be a part of this, who do they contact? Is that you?
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be
Your girl.
me.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I wrote down your email. It's sales@lakeoftheozarksshootout.com.
Yeah.
Okay, sales@lakeoftheozarksshootout.com.
2 S's in there.
And your cell phone number is?
573-693-8275.
All right, there you go.
Absolutely.
How about that? That was great, wasn't it? Thank you,
was.
ladies, for coming by.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. And thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.
watching Lake TV.